What's up, guys? So, in this video, I tried using the newly buffed fighter emblem with Masha. A lot of you have been requesting this, especially those who've been watching this channel for a long time, I think. And in this game, I used her as a roamer, and it turned out really interesting, so watch out.
Your cowardice will arouse my fury.
An early kill for their jungler, which is why our jungler should have had an advantage against the enemy jungler. If only our jungler knew what he was doing. But I'll let you be the judge later on. I also managed to steal one of Hayabusa's jungle creeps, so he was supposed to be delayed. Then here Ixia dies. I think Glue hit her with a flame shot, and she couldn't dodge it. But Glue dies anyway, and Granger is able to escape. Then Ixia starts chatting and blaming someone. I wonder who it was. We came from the top lane, so we arrived late. Joy could have taken the turtle, but she lost to Hayabusa in the retribution battle. Even though Hayabusa arrived late too, he still got it. Then Joy died as well, and she also started chatting and blaming someone. I wonder who it was. We were just starting, but I already knew we were going to lose, so I lost hope. I wanted to get killed by Hayabusa, but he had no damage. You know it's over when both your gold laner and jungler are toxic and dark system at the same time. The two roles that are supposed to be the carries of the team are too dumb, and instead of trying to improve, they just chose to be toxic in the game. So yeah, it was hopeless. The only thing keeping me going in this game is my gamer instinct. Our gold laner is just 1v1ing while we're at the bottom lane, and then he complains that no one is helping him, when it's just a 1v1. That's crazy. Here, Joy chatted that she wanted to take the turtle, but she was way too far. Eve already reached the turtle first, and she died first too. We were already at a disadvantage here, and it was hard to contest, but Joy still pushed for it. The best thing we could do at this point was to force Hayabusa to use his retribution so he couldn't invade. And then she says we didn't want to, but we were right there. We tried, bro. You were just stupid enough to go through the river when common sense says the enemies were already positioned there, and you had no vision. At that point, the only thing we could do was try to steal. We couldn't win a team fight. Just try to steal or at most force Hayabusa to use retribution. By the way, I was already mythical immortal with 139 stars before this game. Just so you know, all my teammates are mythical immortal except Eve, who's mythical glory, but she's the most decent one. This is probably the best moment in this game. I killed Hayabusa, and the turtle was about to spawn, so my teammates could rush it since the enemy jungler wasn't there, and the other two were top. The first mistake here was Lapu. He prioritized cutting minions instead of helping Joy just kill the turtle so the enemy couldn't contest it. Then he went to zone the enemy mage, which is pointless at this time, especially when you leave your jungler alone. To be fair, Joy also did something really dumb. She had retribution ready and could have just hit the turtle to sink the damage with it, but she didn't. She just walked around and waited for the enemies to lower her HP. What the heck is this player? Yes, I know you're really bad as Joy and as a jungler, I'll give you that. But bro, even if you're not a jungle main, anyone can notice how dumb you are. And you're mythical immortal ranked? Seriously, what the heck? Anyway, let me explain what Lapu should have done. There was no enemy jungler, so he should have helped to kill the turtle, especially since only the jungler was missing from the enemy team, and the other teammates were on their way to contest. Trying to zone the mage and leaving your jungler alone at that objective is just very stupid. I don't even know anymore. I just wanted my suffering in this game to end. Because look, Lapu died without doing anything useful. Joy dove into a bunch of enemies alone and instantly died. I swear I was extremely frustrated while playing this game. If you noticed how frustrated I already sounded while editing this video, imagine how much worse it was when I was actually playing it. Maybe this game could have gone better if the enemies didn't snowball like this. While we were fighting these two enemies that we managed to kill, Joy was just doing her own thing and getting solo killed. In the next game, I used her in the EXP lane. I think Masha benefits the most from the fighter emblem when she's in the EXP lane, because the little bit of sustain actually helps her there. She's not easy to bully, and she doesn't need to go back to base constantly because her skills drain a lot of HP. Even if the enemies aren't targeting her, her HP still goes down just from using her skills, and that's a pure downside in the early game.
For the glory.
If you're in the EXP lane, the best first item is definitely Sea Halberd since almost every EXP laner is a sustain hero. In other lanes, I think it's fine as a second item. There's no game today where you wouldn't need to build Sea Halberd. You need it every single game. Although if I remember correctly, I built Fury Hammer first and then Sea Halberd in this game. My reasoning was that I needed physical penetration right away because I lost some penetration by using the fighter emblem instead of the assassin emblem.
Killing spree. Solo kill. Try to fold it.
If I'm being honest, the fighter emblem isn't super impactful on Masha. Yes, like I said, you get a bit of extra sustain and you really only feel that in the EXP lane. But if you're playing gold lane or roam, the assassin emblem is still better. Masha doesn't really need sustain. What matters more is the damage and movement speed you get from the assassin emblem, especially when you're hiding in a bush and trying to burst down an enemy. Sometimes the enemy survives with just a bit of HP, which could have been a guaranteed kill with the assassin emblem. But yeah, you can still feel the impact, just not as much as other fighters who really need both lifesteal and spell vamp. I've already tried several fighters with it, and that will be in my next video, so stay tuned. With Masha, even before, she never needed lifesteal or spell vamp. Damage is what matters, because she has 3 HP bars, and you actually want to lose HP bar in certain fights since your ultimate cooldown resets when an HP bar is depleted. And thanks to her 4th skill, she can easily refill 1 HP bar even without lifesteal. So she doesn't really need lifesteal as much as other heroes, and even less when it comes to spell vamp. Anyway, I just want to include this game where I went up against a famous YouTuber, the top 1 global Yu Zhong, and I know you already know him. Though he was playing in the gold lane and I was in the EXP lane, so we weren't matched up. I just wanted to try the fighter emblem on Edith to see if it's good. And Edith is also one of the best counters to Yu Zhong. I know a lot of you are struggling against Yu Zhong right now, so I'll make a dedicated video about it soon. The reason why Edith is a good counter to Yu Zhong is because her passive basically counters his passive. When you take damage, your energy increases, which gives you hybrid lifesteal when you use your ultimate. And Yu Zhong's passive fills that up really fast. Once you ult, your hybrid lifesteal can easily sustain against Yu Zhong's damage, and your damage also hurts a lot. But yeah, we were no match for the enemy team in this game. They got the most OP tank right now, which is Grok, so we ended up losing this match, and all my teammates were bronze. So here's another game with Masha. Since you guys also want longer videos and you're always asking for Masha content, here it is, still using the fighter emblem. I'm a roamer again because we lost earlier. Like I said, the assassin emblem might be better for roaming, but I'll still try the fighter emblem for this game. Maybe I was just unlucky in the first match, which is why we lost. I need to at least have a decent game. In this moment, all I could do was pray that no enemy would show up, because if anyone did, I would most likely die. I relaxed when I saw the remaining 3 enemies on the map, but even if an enemy did come there, I'm sure you already know I would still be able to recall back to base, right? I just started pushing the bottom lane here because I noticed it looked like no one wanted to defend the bottom lane. I was surprised here when a bunch of enemies suddenly showed up, and Nolan had a huge shield because of Florin's heal, the Aqua Flask, and Rose Gold Meteor. But it'll be worth it in the next team fight because Florin's ult and Nolan's Rose Gold Meteor will both be on cooldown, so I'll be able to burst him right away. And the same goes for the other enemies. We also managed to get the Lord after that, and look how worth it my push earlier in the bottom lane was. And this bottom lane inhibitor turret will be super easy to push. Lapu waited forever to use his ultimate there, and he didn't even get to use it because he got petrified. But that was also super risky, because if he had timed his ult correctly, my petrify would have been useless. And here, no one really wanted to defend the bottom lane. I mean, they went one by one. The first two died, until we finally reached the enemy base and started turret locking it.
Victory!
Here's another game. This one was a bad game for me. I was up against Argus and I should have had the advantage in the early game, and I should have maximized that. But I got too aggressive and kept turret diving, then dying, only for the kill to go to Angela.
Request backup!
Well, that's a great save, bro. Really, really great. But Angela's teammate synergy is super solid when you're using Masha, because her ultimate cooldown is so low, and Masha's is almost non-existent. You two are always ready to fight, which is why this combo works so well. Something happened here. The enemies kept spamming recall. That's a great way to start taking the game seriously. Spamming recall like you did something amazing. That's crazy. Better luck next game, bro. You lost the moment you spammed recall on me. Oops, just kidding. If you're going to spam recall, make sure you're strong and that you're going to win, all right?